It's of investigation into a gas leak that seemingly led to a deadly home explosion in Avondale. Residents of the same street were evacuated, this time for another scare. Yesterday, officials tried to track down a smell of gas near Avondale Garden Road.
Yeah, yesterday's evacuation comes exactly a week after a woman died from a house explosion. As residents ask how this can happen again, Alyssa Curtis shows us what information investigators are tracking down.
Residents of Avondale Garden Road have barely had time to wipe their tears after 87-year-old Dolores Gabriel died in a house explosion.
I couldn't do nothing but holler for her because I know she was buried, and I'm still dealing with that.
And as they continue to grieve, worries of another gas leak grew Monday. This time they were evacuated, something that didn't happen December 2nd.
But what made it pop back up again? That's the question.
We haven't gotten many answers from authorities about what happened December 2nd and why they weren't evacuated. But Monday, Parish President Cynthia Lee Sheng spoke to us on camera about an hour before we learned about the most recent gas concern. Sheng says it's a horrible situation they want to get to the bottom of.
There's a lot of teams looking at it and studying what happened. We have federal teams here. And I think, we owe it to that family and the lady who lost her life there that we get to the truth.
One of those teams investigating is the National Transportation Safety Board, or NTSB. Tuesday, they told us it's still early in the investigation, but they gave us insight into what their investigation will look like. The NTSB says their investigations involve three primary areas: human factors, the pipeline system, and the operating environment. They sent us a list of 15 types of information they will gather. That list includes witness statements, pipeline operating practices and procedures, operator qualification and training records, relevant pipeline pressures before and during the accident, pipeline maintenance records, local environmental conditions including soil conditions for buried pipelines, extent and path of released gas or hazardous liquid migration and/or transport, any surveillance video, and more. It'll be at least a few weeks before we get some results of the NTSB's investigation. Until then, residents continue to grieve.
I'm trying to still cope with that. That was just unbelievable.
And wait for answers. Alyssa Curtis, WWL Louisiana.
NTSB says a preliminary report will be available in about 30 days. We're also still working to get information from other authorities investigating.